Okay, and with this, I want to say welcome everybody to this Helpful Village release webinar for May 18th. And this is the agenda of the meeting. We have some news, some reminders. We have some release notes about improvements we have added to the software this month. We have a quick demo and we'll be discussing about the next priorities. So let's get started. First thing is about the news. So we wanted to welcome 2 new villages. So we saw Gail, she's coming from Trinidad, Colorado, and this an in development village. And there is Mary's House for older adults in DC, which is the first citywide village specifically dedicated for the LGBTQ community. So this one additional village in the District of Columbia. Okay, and then these are the reminders. So this is a release webinar where we are basically doing a monologue, mostly presenting the new improvements to the software, but there is another webinar next week that we do in collaboration with V2V, and that one is about a Q&A. So usually this webinar goes a little quicker because we're presenting new things, and next week is more about questions and answers. So it's a little bit easier for the new villages. If you find there is a lot of information today, it will be easier next week. Then there is this is a monthly webinar. So the next release webinar will be June 15th, is the third Wednesday of the month. There's a couple of links on the slides. There is a Helpful Village training docs guide if you want to learn how to use basically the documentation. There is a help center where you can find answers to many of these questions. You will find it under support.helpfulvillage.com. And when you have improvement ideas, you can submit them under ask.helpfulvillage.com. So those are quick reminders with important links. It's very important also to let you know that Gary Frankel, that is in this meeting and that was speaking a minute ago, he's our national coordinator. He basically helps us collect and gather the feedback and input from villages. In particular, he also hosts the V2V webinar next week. So if you have questions you would like to have addressed next week, please email Gary with this email address, which is hvusers@v2vnetwork.org, and he will receive those emails. He will coordinate with us to see how we put them in the agenda and allows us to prepare that ahead of time. So yeah, you can contact Gary. These are other links for the Help Center and the training docs. That's a little bit how it looks like. This is the Help Center where basically you can search questions, and it's an interactive website that gives you information about many questions you may have. It also gives you the possibility on the top right to submit a request, basically create a ticket if you have a question you want to contact our support team. Basically, this is a smart system where basically when you're asking the question, it's going to suggest some articles where maybe you find the answer before you submit your request. If the answer is not there, you can submit it and it will go to our support team. Just want to make the distinction in the fact that when you contact our team, there may be some bugs that happen sometimes. So you submit those under support.helpfulvillage.com. Sometimes you have improvement ideas. So an extension of the software that you would like to see in the future, those need to go in a different bucket, which is ask.helpfulvillage.com. Okay, so this is the reminders. Basically, this is basically what has changed this month. Basically, Christina has been working on this idea of making available a lot of new training videos with all these topics that you can see on these slides, how to insert a video on an editable page, how to upload an image. So basically what she has been doing is that we had a lot of these answers in the webinars before, and she has been editing those videos so that she can make them available in the Help Center. So you will find a lot of these training videos available on the Help Center, which is again support.helpfulvillage.com. She did all of these plus these more live demos that you can see here and a lot more. So it's just a lot of documentation and information about questions you may be asking yourself about Helpful Village. You find a lot more answers in the Help Center. So Christina, you've been working too hard because there is a lot of training docs. Okay, release notes. So these are the changes that we have added to the platform. These changes are available on our demo site. It's not available on your servers yet. For that, we do the release to the servers, to the customer servers on the weekend so that there is a little bit less activity. So the new changes that you see today will become available on your servers this weekend, May 21st, 22nd. So if you don't see them on your website, it's normal. They're coming this weekend. But we talked about them a little bit early today. First change is a discussion we had last week, and this is in particular something that we have been working on with Jersey Village Senior Outreach, so the village in Houston, and this is a possibility to send text messages to a group of people. So in case of an emergency, and I know hurricane season starts June 1st, so we needed to have this ready in time. It's now possible to send a text message to a group of people. You know, if there is a power outage or something, and you need to communicate with your members, it is possible to activate these text messages. We had text messages before, but they were only available for a one-on-one communication. So you're talking to one person, but now it's possible to talk to one person if you need to, or to a group of people in the way we're going to show you right now. So for villages that have been using the software for quite some time, there is an email messenger right in the admin menu. Well, now, if you get this premium feature, there will be also the text messenger that is right beside it. And we wanted to make it very similar to it so that you feel familiar, if you're familiar about, how to send emails, where this is a different channel, is how to send text messages. So we kept the same design. So, you have a button to send a new text message, and then you can see the logs of the previous text messages that have been sent or that are in draft, etc. So we wanted to make it super easy so that it sounds familiar to you. I'll show this in the demo later today. So, but these are a few screens so that you can see how it goes. So basically, if you come here and you click on the new text message, it's going to come to this screen where basically you can choose what is the group you want to text. And actually, these groups are the groups that are available under people management groups, right? And then there is this, there is one that was a group category that is called check-ins, because it's also for the emergency check-ins. And then basically you can put people in these groups. You can choose the group that you want. You can add new groups if you want, right? For whatever, and you can add all your members in those groups. You can put anybody and have as many groups as you want in there. And then basically when you're sending the text message, you can choose to what group you wanna text. So basically you choose the text, the group, and then below there is a space where you can, enter the text of your text message. And then from there, you can either save the draft if you don't want to send it right away, or you click send. If you click send, the message goes out. And I see, Gary, that you have a question, so I'll pause here. But I think you're muted.
The question I had was for the groups. These are the only groups I could text to?
No.
Those in check-in?
No, well, yeah. So basically, first, for now, yes, is under this group category. You can basically, those are the groups you can text message to. Now you can add people into these groups, right? So if you want to, for example, include, and that's part of the group management. For example, if you want to include all your active members into this group, and then all your active volunteers in the same group, and include other people, you can do that. We will definitely be listening to your feedback. We thought, we were thinking, we're always cautious about how we go about things. So we thought we would start with these group categories, but if you had other use cases where you need to text other people, just let us know. Obviously what we wanted to avoid is that you don't end up sending a text message twice, because a person is an active member, but they're also an active volunteer or something like that. So can work with you, but for now it's these groups under check-in groups. Gail, I think she had a question too. I think you're muted too.
Yeah. Are these text messages going to phones, or is it text message within the system?
Yeah, it's phone text messages. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I'll show that in the demo later. But yeah, thank you. And by the way, I should have said, this is great. When you have questions along the way, please feel free to raise your hand or unmute, and then we can discuss them along the way. It's important that the explanations are clear. So thank you for those questions. well, you can also obviously look at the list of text messages that have been sent. You can see the details of a text message. You can see who it was sent to. So basically, in this case, it was sent to the emergency SMS group at this date at this time. The person that sent it and what was the content of that message. Actually, messaging is a premium feature, so because we need to pay per segment. So I just wanted to go over the pricing. First is if you're interested in this feature and you want to activate it, you could need to contact our team. And the costs are the following. There is a monthly fee of $3 because actually we need to get a phone number that we basically lease from somebody, and then we need to pay for that. So you would pay a $3 monthly fee. And then there is a 0.02, which is basically a 2 cents fee per message segment. And a segment is a text message that consists of 160 characters. So basically, if you have 180 characters, that would be 2 segments for that message. And then basically, we add up the number of messages you send each month, and then we add that to your monthly invoice. And basically, another thing that is interesting is that you can send text messages to people, right? Either individually or in a group, and they can respond to that text message. So when they respond to that text message, well, basically there is the same fee of 0.02, but basically that text message is recorded onto Helpful Village, and we send you an email with the content of that text message saying, well, this person texted the village and this is what they said. Okay, that's for text
Manuel,
messaging.
there
Yes.
are some questions in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, bring them up.
So,
I mean, you can read them.
First is we are studying to Cheverly Village. We are starting to explore whether how to send survey request text to volunteers. Do you envision that use in the future? The message would include link to the request on the website. Yes.
Yeah, I think we envision that. So we want to go, as I said before, kind of step by step. And you know, for example, one thing with the text messages is usually the message will need to be shorter. So we need to think about that a little bit. But definitely it's possible to send a text message to this group and then send them a link to the website where they can see the service request and volunteer online. So for me, yeah, we totally envision it. We just need to figure it out how to do it one step at a time.
There's another question. Reversist, where do the incoming messages appear? Like tweet it out.
Yeah, so they appear in the text messenger, you know, and they also appear on the personal profile of the person. But on the text messenger that I showed before, where you send messages out, it shows both the text messages that come in and those that come out. Okay, so that's for text messenger. I have a demo that we can do after we're done with the slides. So you know, it will also answer some of those questions. Okay, the next item on the agenda is these background checks. So we integrate our background checks with this other provider, basically, that is called Checker. And basically Helpful Village communicates with Checker so that they can launch these different background checks. And you have the possibility to, and we had this before where you had no choice. There was only one background check. But now you have a catalog of background checks you can choose from. So you can choose for any given person, you want to request the basic criminal background check, if you want to request only the DMV report, or if you want to request the basic criminal with the motor vehicle report. So those are 3 packages, and they have different prices. So I think basic criminal is about $10 plus other things. The motor vehicle report is $5 plus something, and the basic criminal with MVR is $15. So you can, you know, request the background check you need. And basically, I think we have a slide here where basically we're showing how it looks like. So it's on the volunteer tab of the person. When you click on the background check button, you have a drop-down box now. And actually, this one is already available for all the villages. So for this one, you don't need to wait until Sunday. Where basically you choose the background check that you need. And then once you select, it's going to tell you what's the price of that background check. It's going to show you what is it going to, you know, what are the database it's going to search. So basically, if you do basic criminal with MVR, it's going to do motor vehicle report, the national criminal search, sex offender search, social security trace, and the global watch list search. And then basically here's an explanation of the pricing about how it works. There's a different fee for each one of the packages, as I said before. The basic criminal with MVR, which is the most expensive, is 15 plus. So this is the checker fee. There is a helpful village fee that is only 99 cents. There are some fees that are local fees that are different for each state, county, and stuff like that. For those, the fees are passed through at cost. So there is, I don't know if the state of Florida is charging $10, well, then we'll be add $10 more to your monthly fee the next week. And then there is all this explanation here. When there is a hit on the national criminal database, a checker has to perform this criminal county search, and then that adds an additional $15 fee, and it's not optional. They need to do it for some legal reason, and then so that adds up to your the cost of background check, if there is a hit. When that happens, basically the process is that you request this background check. There is something where there are two options actually, where you can request your volunteer to make a donation, if that's the way your village works. So they can make a donation, and when they make the donation, they receive an invite for this background check. Or you can send the background check straight away without the donation. And if you do that, basically they receive an email saying that they are requested to fill out this background check application. Actually, they go to the checker website. Checker is going to ask them for some information, obviously their name and their social security number and stuff like that. All that information stays with checker, so we don't receive it, we don't have it, we don't want to have it either. But they need it for the background check, and once they run their database checks, they contact the Helpful Village server automatically. So it updates the status of the background check on the database, and we send you an email from Helpful Village saying that we received the background check for this person. There are different, these are the colors of these background checks. Green, it means that it is clear, no record found. Orange is when it's still in progress, so we're waiting for checker to do their job. And then red is the person failed their background check. There was at least one negative record being discovered. So that's how it works for the background check. Okay, this one is a funny one. I can't resist kind of smiling at this one, because we now are allowing the style sheet on the website. So you can customize the colors and the dominant colors on the website. And it was a shock to me that I have not entirely digested. So be nice to me, but I'm going to show it to you. Something we have been working on with Florida. So Uplift Florida, they had this logo that I think looks very good. And basically one of the things that we did is just basically remember that until now we have had these red dominant colors here for the titles and the buttons. Well, those are now customizable. So each village can come in and choose, obviously this blue looked good with their logo. If your village has a different color, a green or something like that, you can also contact us, and basically you will be able to customize some of the things. Obviously not the whole website. You cannot change, we cannot change every single detail of the website, but some of the things you can, and in particular these dominant colors for the links, for the titles, for the buttons and stuff like that on the website is something that is now customizable. There is a small fee. Chris, maybe you can copy that. I don't know if you have a training doc about that, but basically, when we do work for one specific village about the customization, there is a specific cost. You can put that in the chat, Chris, if you want. But I need to tell you that for me, this was a shock, because for so many years, I have seen the kind of all the buttons being this one color and stuff like that. So suddenly when I saw all these blue things, it was like, oh my God, what is happening here? So yeah, and obviously that goes all over on the menu, also here on the service request and stuff like that. So anyways, just this color was a shock to me, as I was saying. So Christina has also the list of the things that are customizable. So as I said, the name of the headers, the main buttons, and the background and stuff like that. So some of those things, Christina can let you know more about those. Then I come back here. Yeah, so this is an example here. Okay, this one is another one that is super interesting. So this is we redesigned the email confirmation for events. This is something we did following a conversation we had with Northwest neighbors in Washington, D.C. I know Capitol Hill was part of the conversation too. And basically, this is the email that people receive when they register for an event, or when you register them for an event. I'm going to show it here. So basically, let me move this. Basically, the people receive an email, right, where they have a possibility to add it to their calendar. So that's convenient. If they want to add it to their, iPhone or something like that, they can remember. But basically, the main change happens here under this box where you had these. Well, this is the name of the event. This is when is that happening. Actually, we had a link here that was saying add it to the calendar, but it's kind of a duplicate of what we were doing here. So it was just more complexity for nothing. And then basically here, we used to have two buttons before. One that is the join the online meeting if you have the Zoom module activated, and the other one that was see the event detailed descriptions, because you had these two links that were, okay, either I want to join the Zoom meeting or I want to see the event on the website. And it kind of made sense to have both links because sometimes, events change in times and stuff like that, but the email was sent, so you may want to go link to the website to see what that event is about. But some of the people that just wanted to join on Zoom, they were feeling confused. They were clicking the other button, etc. So the solution we found that I'm quite excited about is that we only have one button now, which is if it's a Zoom event, we say join online meeting, and that's it. That takes them to the Zoom they wanted to attend. And then basically the second part of the same email is coming now, is here. So basically we have, basically this registration is for this person, transportation options. You can have organizer notes where it says, the phone numbers you can call if you're joining by phone or something, whatever. And then basically this other link here, which is, remember we talked, is it more details about the event are available on our website. This is now a link, but this is a secondary link that comes later. So you can still go to the website straight from the email, but it's less confusing because we don't have two buttons together. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that this same confirmation email depends on the event. So if this is a Zoom event, the button that we saw before is here, is join the online meeting. If it's not a Zoom event, we send a slightly different email, which is this one. The beginning is the same, but basically the button, rather than saying join the Zoom event, it says, event details online. So you can check the event details online because there's no Zoom link. So just the one dominant button is the possibility to check that event online on the website. And we don't need that other sentence at the bottom. So just the event confirmation email is just more straightforward. There is only one button, and therefore less confusion for your event attendees. Okay, so this is actually not an improvement, but this is kind of some sort of a reminder to let you know that our system is sending emails from 3 different email addresses. So because sometimes you may have people saying, well, either the email is going to spam or something like that. It's like, well, they need to accept or include in their contact list 3 different email addresses. One that is village@helpfulvillage.com that we use for the account management, kind of, when they're setting their password or something. There's another one. This is actually not your village. This would be different for each one of our customers. So basically here, it can be jersey@a.helpfulvillage.com or cheverly@a.helpfulvillage.com. This would be different for each one of you. And this is basically the main email address that sends the volunteer opportunities and all of those things. There's another email. Some of the other emails come from here. Actually, the group emails are being sent through MailChimp, right? So you can set up a MailChimp account that is synchronized with Helpful Village, and then basically you can find that email address that is set. You also find it in the menu, admin settings, email tab, and then basically you can see the from email field it will show you what's the email we are sending those from. Again, so yeah, so this is an explanation Christina was explaining here, where basically this is the settings. If you go to the email tab, here, this is the MailChimp configuration. So in this particular example, we're sending these emails from MailChimp from this address, m+village@helpfulvillage.com, but this email address can be different for each one of our customers. So you need to go in there and check which one is set up for you. Okay, this is another improvement. So our server sends these emails to your members and volunteers, right, with different opportunities to volunteer or notifications or invitation to renew their membership or something. And those are emails that are sent by the server, right? So one of the questions is what happens if someone replies to that email that comes from the server? Well, if they reply to the server, that email goes to the server, but now our server is smart enough so that we're gonna forward that same message to the the village administrator email address we have, and then at the beginning of that message we're going to tell you, well, who sent this email. So basically the sender, it was coming from manuel@helpfulvillage.com, and this is the message that this person wrote, and this is basically a testing forward email. So this is what we call forwarding emails. So when someone replies to the server receives that message, we send it to your email address, and then you can continue the conversation there with your member. Okay, other improvements. So these are other improvements, but we're not showing the slides for that. But I can explain. So first is the web pages manager settings. Actually, we have a slide for this one later, but we have different roles and different rights on the platform. One is, member manager, another is volunteer, service request manager, or things like that. One of them is web pages manager. Is something you would give to someone that is working on your website. But there was one, they could not reach the settings area. And so basically now we made available for people with web pages manager so that they can go on settings to see some of the settings that are about the website. So they can now access those. I'm going to show a screen about this in a minute. Sometimes when people make payments with Stripe, in particular the monthly payments, and it's possible that there is a failed payment, sometimes because the credit card doesn't have funds, or because the credit card has been blocked by the bank or by the customer or something. And we were so Helpfully sent you an email saying that we were expecting a payment, but the payment was not successful, so that we let you know so that you can contact the member, let them know if they change the credit card number or something like that. Now that email includes the reason why was it blocked. I mean, we don't always know exactly the reason. Sometimes we know. So if it's insufficient funds, or if it's the bank has declined the payment or something, there is an additional line giving you additional explanations now on the email we send you. The next improvement is the text editor. So this, I would even call it the website editor. So when you're composing these messages, we use this editor that allows you to add bold, change the colors of your text, etc. Well, now we have upgraded this month to this new version 6 of the tiny web editor that you have seen, and so obviously, there's new functionality associated to that. I know someone requested something that I was trying to do, because this text editor has different options and toolbars and stuff like that. And used to have the font size that it was available on the text editor, and I tried to add it and I couldn't on this new version. It's available on the menu actually, so rather than having it on the toolbar, well, basically you need to go on the menu of the text editor and you can change the font size, and then I can look at it again, but it was surprised I couldn't add it to the toolbar. Okay, this is what I was saying before. It's about the web pages manager role that now can access the settings, because what happens is that they should be able to, basically manage the menu, have a look at the list of editable pages and look at the web templates. But those things are accessible under admin settings, and they were not able to see them before because they didn't have the rights. So we added the rights for the web pages manager to do so. So as you can see here, they cannot see the other settings. So they cannot see the payment settings, the membership settings, etc., all of those things, because it's none of their business. But they can now manage things that are about the website on the settings side. Okay, so this is basically a reminder. So we work with Stripe. Stripe is this payment provider gateway that is processing the credit card payments. Also the bank payments you can pay with ACH, which is just basically withdrawing the money from the members account for membership payments and stuff. I wanted to let you know something. It's like sometimes Stripe tries to pull the funds from the credit card and it doesn't work for some reason because the bank declines it. So actually Stripe is gonna try again. You know, I don't know the frequency exactly, but if it fails today, they're gonna try again tomorrow. And then again, I don't know, 3 or 4 days later. And then after they have tried a few times, well, the monthly payment, they cancel it. So they change the status of the subscription. So you need to know that, yeah, not be surprised that if the payment failed once and you receive the message a little bit later, it's because it retried and maybe the second time it worked because the bank was okay with that. And this one I explained already. Our helpful village system email now sends the failed payment reason. Okay, and this is what we're working on now. Is the current priorities. So we have two changes we're working on. One is donor management. I'll start with that one because it's easier to explain. It's basically we want to give you more information for your donors. For example, what's the amount of their donations this year compared to the whole previous year, compared to 2 years ago, to 3 years ago. So that allows you to have a better understanding on your donors report about who are the big regular donors, who has been giving a lot of money several years ago, but have not given this year. So maybe you need to get back at them. So just improving the donor report for you to be more successful with your fundraising campaign. And the other one is I wanted to explain to you what it is. I started working on it already. There is a chance it's available at the end of the week because I'm in the middle of it. It's basically something that we call instant membership, where you have a payment with a credit card. And I'm going to explain what this is. So usually when you have, for all our customers, usually there is a membership application form on the website. So people can go on the website and say, I'm interested in becoming a member. I'm going to submit an inquiry saying, okay, this is my name and address, and I'm interested in becoming a member with this type of membership, kind of household membership or individual membership or something. And then basically what happens is the village receives that membership application form, and then they contact the member, and then they have their own process about reviewing, you know, whatever needs to be reviewed, or they do an interview with the member and many other good things. But we have been discussing with some villages where maybe for some type of memberships, you would be able to instantly become a member, basically saying that the application form where you say, well, I'm interested in becoming this, you know, I don't know, social member. And if the village is okay, because this is customizable, they can go to that membership type and say that this membership type is available for instant membership, which means that the person that is submitting the application form, right, they submit their application form for membership, saying their name, their address and stuff like that. And then if it's on a membership type that is an instant membership, they will be taken to a second page where they can immediately enter the credit card payment. So that's a possibility for some of your memberships types to accept people that can become members right away without a review process from the village. So yeah, so we're hooking that up with our credit card payment system and stuff like that. So that's in progress. I can potentially show that to you on the demo side of things. And then I'm gonna switch out of the slides and I'm gonna go move on to the demo side of things. Christina, I don't know if you have any questions before I start the demo.
Yes, for the new version of the text editor, can you show where the font size is now?
Yeah, yes. Okay, let's start there. So basically you can always come to any page and edit it, right? So there's a button here at the bottom. You can change the title of the page, who can read it, is that public, etc. Anyways, and this is the new editor that I was saying. So the style is a little different, as you can see. And then basically you can select here, can remove the bold, you can change the colors here. These are our friends at San Luis Obispo. And then basically we want to change that and say, use this orange. Well, now it's orange. And then for the font size, you can select any text you want. And then if you go into format, wait a minute, font sizes, and then you can go here, 24, boom, you made it a little bigger. Or let's go again, font sizes, 36. So that's where it is. So basically, this is the toolbar. Actually, I'm sorry for the vocabulary. I didn't say it before. I was trying to put it here because, you know, it is a little quicker to go here from the toolbar. I don't know, for some reason, this new version didn't allow me to do so. So for now, you need to go under format, and then you have these options here, you know, changing the font styles and stuff like that.
Okay, Gary has his hand raised.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Spell check. Yeah, well, is there a spell
Yeah.
check in the editor?
Yes. So I'm gonna tell you two things. Let me see. Let me edit this. I know the editor, they have this spell check thing. I'll double check. At one point, it was a premium feature, so they wanted us to pay for the spell check thing. The other thing that I would recommend is that I'm gonna do this here. Let me see. Okay, because I usually have this. I don't see it now. I have kind of a spell check thing that I added to my browser. For some reason, I don't see it now. But it's called like this for people that are Grammarly.inc. So this is something you can add to your browser. What? So you can download it, whatever, and stuff like that. And then basically this does the spell check for you when you're using the website, but it's on your browser. So it would not be on Helpful Video, it would be for all the websites that you use. And then I'll double check here because I know they have a spell checker on the editor, but I don't know if they have it in the free package or if they wanted us to pay more or something. I don't know. I'll double check that. Okay, so next I'm gonna show some of the other things. First thing that I would like to show is let me start with the background check. So if I go to my profile and I can search the person here. Basically, you go to the volunteer tab. These are my volunteer activities and stuff like that. These are vetting steps. And then down here, you have the background checks list. And then basically this is the last one that has been performed. And as you can see, is in orange because basically it's pending, actually, because the volunteer has not responded to this one. If I click on more information, I can request another background check and stuff like that. So here, for this volunteer, I can choose the background check that I want. If I want only motor vehicle, I can choose this one instead. As you can see here, it changes the pricing description. So you see, this is a $5 checker fee for the motor vehicle report. If I do in basic criminal, it's $10 that is searching all these things here. And then the basic criminal with MVR is 15 with all these things down here. And then these are my previous background checks that have been done at different dates. These results here were done before. And then the last one that I did is the basic criminal with MVR that I requested on the 29th of April. But I have not followed through, so it's not clear. It's just waiting for the volunteer to fill out the information they need to do.
This is a question, Manuel.
Yes, hi Jim.
Jill, please.
Yeah, how long does it take to get background checks done? So if I put one in today, is it back tomorrow?
It's even quicker than that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the main thing is that there is an email that is in my experience, but basically, Gary, you can also tell us for the background checks you have run, but it's kind of in 5 minutes to get the answer. So I guess it can vary depending on the county and stuff like that, on the system they have, but every time that I have used it, it has been 5 minutes. There is another thing that I wanted to say is that there is an email that is being sent out to the volunteer. So obviously it depends also how long does it take the volunteer to fill out their information. So the background check can only proceed if the person answers the question and submits and accepts to have this background check on them. Also, I wanted to say that you pay the fees that we said before only if the background check is performed. So basically, we send an invite to your volunteer, but if the volunteer doesn't want to complete it, doesn't want to respond, well, then you pay nothing, right? So if you received an email that says we're only billing you if there was a background check that was performed. Okay, so basically, I selected my background check that I wanted. Let me do here a motor vehicle report. And then here I can accept, well, basically you need to accept the fact that basically, because we're paying for that background check ourselves at Helpful Village, but here you're authorizing the fact that we will add the fees that are explained above to your next Healthful Village monthly invoice. And then from here, you have these two options. One is that you can request the background check for Manuel Acevedo, and that sends the person an email that goes to the volunteer right away, or you can send a donation email to the volunteer. So this is a template that you can customize, explaining why are you, or any language you want to include in that email message that is sent to the person. And then when the person completes the donation, then it goes to this other, the continuation of the process that is explained here. Okay, so that was for the background checks. The next thing that I want to show is here for the text messenger. So I went now under admin, and we have people management. Let me start. And basically you can see here, right? If you have this feature activated, you have the email messenger that sends the emails out. And this one is the text messenger, if you're sending text messages. Before I go here to text messenger, I'm going to show you here under people management, because there was a good question from Gary, but I wanted to make sure it's clear to everybody. So you get people management, you go to groups. And then under groups, you have all these group categories, right? So you start at the bottom, you have the volunteer services, or volunteer service for your members. Village Builders, volunteer service for the organization. Then you can have people in tagged people, groups, in mailing list. These are the automatic mailing lists for active members and stuff like that. You have interest groups that are the discussion groups for Village Talk. And then you have check-ins, which is this other category that is also used by the check-ins module. And basically here you can create this group. If you go here into check-ins, let's do that together. You can create a new group. And then you can call it any way you want. So emergency, natural disaster only, right? And then you can write a description here, natural disaster order only. Well, I mean, if you want to create a description of that group, and then you save it. And now here we have another group here, which is natural disaster only, right? And then if you enter into that group, you can add people here. So this is going to be me. And that's going to add me to the group. There is this functionality here that you have for any group. So you can add people from a different group. You can edit this group. You can export to a spreadsheet file. You can create mailing labels and stuff like that. One that is particularly interesting here is you can add people from a different group. So if I click on this button and I say, okay, I want to add all my mailing list, all my active members, I can add to this group all my active members, right? So I don't need to do them one by one. You can have people in these different groups in other areas, and you can add people from one group will be imported into this other group here, okay? Okay, natural disaster only, right? This is a new group that we created, and we can add people, we can remove people from this group if we want to. And then the next thing that I'm gonna show is that I go here into admin, text messenger, and then I can create a new text message. And the new text message here, I'm gonna send, and these I have different choices here. And what I just said that this Gary's question is about the people you can text are those that are under these check-ins groups, right? So there is emergency high. If you want to put some people in this group, emergency low, depending, the needs of people in case of an emergency. And this is the one that we created. You can add more groups here. If I want to send a text message to the natural disaster only group, I say, please, God, I don't have a natural disaster message right now. Please.
And well, I don't mean to jump on you.
Yeah.
But, so it's something for a natural disaster. We want to send out a fast text saying, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?"
Mm.
And so I would expect to get a reply back from all 180 members.
Yes. So I can save this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you don't need to. I mean, you can save it if you want. If you're not sending it right now. You can send it also immediately if you want. And then from here you can send. Got my phone here, so potentially would hear it. See, God, yeah. So obviously we had a little issue there, but I don't know. I'll test it before. I think I have an issue, but basically sending the text message, I cannot show it to you because I mean, I have a configuration problem in there. But actually here, without that horrible error message that we just saw, you can see here in the list of text messenger that you see here, it will show at what date you send to what group, and basically what is the message that you send to this group, right? And then when they respond, they would also show here saying what is the person that sent it to you. So we'll do some more tests before the end of the week so that it is perfectly ready on the weekend. But that's how it works. The thing that I was saying is that you can also search the person. And then you can go on the activity tab. And the activity tab shows the emails that have been sent to this person. And you can see here the text messages that have been sent to each individual here. So if we send this on this date, 4/28, and then basically, yeah, you have all these messages here, either sent or received from this person is also something you can find on this profile. So obviously we had a little issue here, so it's not showing. And something that is interesting to me, and I should be here. Yeah.
So individually, I could go to the person and see sent and received.
Yes.
Back on the text messaging, I also see what's been received by that message.
Sorry, repeat that.
So go back on the
On the
text
text messenger
admin screen.
Yeah.
I also see what's being received for that text message that we just sent out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't have it here, but you can see also. Wait, repeat that to me. So basically, you're saying.
So I sent this out to 180 members.
Yes.
And I'm expecting a lot of yes, okay.
Yeah.
Need
So
help.
the responses, yes. So the responses are visible here.
Okay, they are very good.
Yeah, the responses from the people. I was, wondering if you were thinking about the text messages that I've been sending out. But yes, the responses are available here.
Okay, I wanted to let you know that yes, this was important to us for our emergency planning system. Joe, the president of our group, our village, is going to present in October at the Village to Village conference the emergency plan that we've proposed, and this is a big step.
Important component. Yeah, absolutely.
Very big.
So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important, and we're happy to start testing it from starting this weekend and next week. Okay, I wanted to show you another thing for the next feature is that if we go here into settings, and then this is membership, and then membership type. So we have many membership types, but I'm thinking about this one, the Village membership dual membership type. And you're familiar with the screen. Basically, you can name the membership types anytime, any way you want. So, household, individual, or any specific name for how many members, for how many months, etc. And then you say if you can pay one-time fees, or if you allow monthly payments, you can do that too. And what I'm showing you here is this other additional drop-down box, checkbox that shows here. You can choose if you want to have this membership type that is visible on your application form or not. So yes or no. And this is the new option that will come up. Is it open for instant membership with payment? So this is something that you can choose on a membership type basis. So for example, maybe your full household membership, you want to go through your interview process and all of that. But maybe if you have, I don't know, I know I was talking with Palisades, and I think they called that membership supporter membership or something like that, which has fewer rights or something like that, but they would be happy to accept the payment right away. And obviously that is possible if you click on this button, on this checkbox. And then once you have clicked on that checkbox, and then you go here onto the application form. Karen. Oh, that's bad. Karen at helpvillage.com. And then you can keep adding more information, my phone, my cell phone, my date of birth and stuff like that, my address and all of the things. And here you can see the available membership options. And I know this membership option that I'm testing is this one here, this dual membership. That is here. I select this option, then you can have, these options are configurable. So you choose if you want to add in the application form the emergency contacts or the pets and all these other things. You don't need to ask all these questions if you don't want to. And then basically you confirm and you send this message. And then if it's an instant membership, right after you have submitted this application form, you're taken to a payment form where you can, basically do an online credit card payment to become a member right away. But this is not finished. I mean, it's working here. So it takes, the pay for membership. It takes Michael Kern. It's $100. So you can pay with a credit card, and then you can accept the terms, and then you can enter the credit card information and accept the terms, pay with credit card. So immediately you become an active member with this membership. But it's this one thing we need to make a little prettier and stuff like that. But this is exactly what we're working on right now. Perfect. And with that, it is 3 minutes before we go. So we still have a few minutes if you have other questions, but those are the things that I absolutely wanted to show you a demo of. For some of these other features, as I said, they're going to the server this weekend. So, and we have a webinar next Wednesday. So if you have, kind of a longer kind of question, we can discuss all of those next week. Please remember to email Gary at hpusers@btvnetwork.org ahead of time so we can have time to prepare the answers to those questions. It really helps. And other than that, I don't know, we still have 2 minutes, Chris. I don't know if you have seen something on the chat that I should mention before we go, or...
I have replied to all the questions, I think. I don't know if anyone wants to jump in or have any other questions.
Well, we have Gary close the session now also, but obviously let's see if we have questions. Perfect. There's no need to have, a lot of questions right now, because as I said, we're back next week again, and all these improvements will be on the server for all the villages. So, you probably have more questions next week when you have been able to test or explore some of these new features. So all of that is good. I don't know, Gary, if you wanted to mention something else that I forgot, but
No, and I see we got some new villages joining us, and I wanted to know some of us old timers, if we bring any hints and tips to how we got started with Helpful Village and getting started and making it work for us. I like your customization things that you've done. That's one thing about Helpful Village is you guys are responsive to us, and we sure appreciate that. So thank you. I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Have a good day, everybody. See you next week.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.